Okay, amazing. So let's get started. Gateway Capital. So this is, in a word, an embedded financing product built into the gateway that gives your merchants quick and easy access to capital, to funding. Neville here is from the company we partnered with to be able to create these offers, and the company is called Paraffin. And Neville is going to be sharing a lot about the details on the offers and what your merchants can expect to see. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Neville. Neville, if you want to do a short introduction on yourself and what Paraffin does, in particular, how Paraffin partners with companies like Accept Blue for capital.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks so much for inviting me on today, Ben. Super excited to be partnering with Accept Blue on the Gateway Capital program. My name is Neville, as you guys can see on the box. I'm a platform growth lead at Paraffin. And what Paraffin does is essentially help small businesses grow by providing access to intuitive capital products. And we do that using underwriting from payments data. And then merchants can access that offer or their offers via our widget, which is embedded into software that those merchants use on a daily basis, and in this case, Accept Blue. So we're looking to essentially abstract away the complexity of starting up a capital program for platforms and ISOs, and we do that by presenting merchants with an intuitive application process, but then also managing the underwriting, the servicing and support workflows in the lending process as well.
Okay, so let me just repeat that, Neville, to make sure I got that clear. So by partnering with Accept Blue, so since we already have a lot of information about the merchant, in particular the processing information, the amounts that they process, the volume, the stability of that processing, Paraffin is able to create pre-approved offers for loans that are going to be presented to merchants without requiring the merchants to go through those lengthy application underwriting processes, because we're already providing in the background to Paraffin a lot of the required information that Paraffin needs. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, fantastic. So let's just give a basic overview of what this is going to look like for your merchants. I will be showing you what it's going to look like live. We're going to do a screen share in just a minute. But essentially, when your merchants log into the gateway, their regular gateway account, they're going to see a new widget there called Gateway Capital, where they're going to see, for the most part, pre-approved offers with a specific amount that's available to them. Again, Paraffin with Accept Blue is able to create those offers based on the merchant's transaction history. So they're going to see that offer with the particulars and to be able to take advantage of that and, pretty much right away. It's just a couple of clicks, and funding, Neville, is within 1 to 2 business days once the application is completed, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, very good. So before I actually show my screen and what it's going to look like to your merchants, I know that everybody here is our ISOs, ISVs, resellers. As you know, that's who our clients are. We don't service merchants directly. We are a gateway that services ISOs. So the first thing I really want to focus on is the benefits to you guys, to the ISOs, the resellers of Accept Blue. So number one, it's happier merchants. It's an incredible product. It's fantastic. Your merchants are going, and everybody wins when merchants are happier. I know that pretty much everybody on this call has merchants that can use an extra dose of happy. So this is definitely going to up that happy meter for your merchants. Number two, it is going to completely change the relationship that ISOs, that resellers have with their merchants. So right now, before Gateway Capital, the relationship that you have with your merchants is you're the merchant service provider. You enable them to take credit card ACH processing. Um, every one of you has some secret sauce, if it's service, if it's rates, if it's tools and resources that make merchants work well with you. But by adding Gateway Capital, you're taking that relationship and you're literally taking it to a completely different realm. You're no longer just being their merchant service provider, their payment processing partner. You're now also the place and the partner which they use to access capital that they need to use for expansions, for inventory, for repairs, for special projects that they have. So you've become much bigger, much greater to them than a simple merchant service provider. That's number two. And that's going to take that relationship and make it far stickier and far deeper and really keep those merchants with you for much, much longer. That's number two. Number three is that this will incentivize merchants to process more through you. So everybody has merchants that have processing through one partner, 50% of the business or 50% with another partner, or you have merchants that are constantly taking Zelle payments or cash payments, and they're not really putting the full amount of their payments through your merchant account that you have with them. With Gateway Capital, merchants will realize that the more they process with you, the more they're going to be approved for. And they're going to want to see those better offers, those higher approval amounts. So this will incentivize them to process more through you, to take more payments through the merchant account that they have with you. Number four, for those of you still counting, is that this will open up a brand new revenue stream for you, for the reseller, for the ISO. So we're bringing the ISO into the revenue over here, and we're going to be sending addendums to resellers post-call with the exact structure of how much you're going to earn. It's going to depend on how much loans you have out with your merchants. But for this call, I'm just going to make it simple and explain that resellers have the ability to earn up to a full percent on total loan amount. So that means if your merchant takes out a loan of $100,000, when that loan completes, the ISO has the potential to earn $1,000. And this is no risk, no work for the ISO. It's literally just a brand new revenue stream with no work required from the ISO's part. So win for the merchant, win for the reseller. I think you guys are starting to realize why this has been something that has been exciting me for weeks already. I think it's going to be hugely, hugely impactful for you and for your merchants. Um, Neville, before I go ahead and show what it looks like, do you want to elaborate a little bit on the different loan types? I know there's two or three different products in terms of loan types that could be offered to merchants. If you want to spend just a few minutes on that, and then we'll go ahead and show what it looks like to the merchant.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to reiterate on what Ben mentioned, our capital products are structured to enable access to capital with no collateral, no credit check, and if approved, the application process is super fast, and funding happens on a very short turnaround as well. We'll be launching with Flex Loans, which is a fixed fee product, and then that is paid off as a percentage of sales. The fees on those range from 3% to 20%, depending on the terms a merchant selects and their risk profile. And they'll have 6 to 9 months to pay that back off over. And then offers are presented to merchants who are pre-approved via the Accept Blue portal, as we mentioned previously. And then 3 months post-launch, we'll plan to roll out our term loans and starter offer products, which are also fixed fee, no interest, but they're paid off as a fixed monthly payment rather than a percentage of sales. Merchants will have the option to repay those between 3 and 9 months, depending on whether it's a term loan or a starter offer. And we'll also plan to increase the payback period that merchants have available to them 6 months after launch. And then lastly, term loans serve a broader set of merchant pain points. Firstly, merchants looking for a different payment structure versus the percentage sales option, as I mentioned. And then it also considers a broader population of businesses in terms of platform tenure. So our starter offer product, which we'll plan to launch 3 months post-launch, will be available for merchants to apply with a single sale on platform. And that's just made available as a merchant acquisition tactic that you guys will have in your tool belt as well. I will also mention, and this is just something that our legal team has asked me to include as well, the lending environment is highly regulated. And so all loans are originated on our platform via Celtic Bank. So the bank that is the bank that is essentially underwriting the loans, and all loans and offers are subject to credit approval, verification, and subject to periodic review as well, and may change.
Understood. So repeating one more time, so there's really three different types of loans. There's going to be offers that are available for pretty much every merchant immediately as soon as it launches. Those will be slightly more restrictive, I heard. So it's going to be taking a percentage of their sales. It's going to be a little bit for a shorter amount of time. The amount of approval might be a little bit lower, but again, the picture that emerges is the more time, the more data that we can share on this merchant's activity, the more attractive, the more appetizing those loan offers will be. So there'll be loan offers right away, but then 3 months as time goes on, those offers will be presented, will be even more attractive, and merchants will be even more incentivized to take advantage of those. Okay, let me show you what this looks like from a merchant's perspective, because if you're like me, seeing is believing, seeing makes everything clear. So let's go ahead and share my screen. Now we'll just confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm logged into the merchant-facing gateway. Um, for those of you not familiar with Accept Blue, I probably should have, started with that. We're a white label payment gateway, which means every one of our resellers has our product completely branded to that reseller, to that ISO's brand. And this way your merchants are interfacing with your brand. They feel secure, they feel comfortable. Stickier merchants, deeper relationships. So I'm logged into my own Sandbox account, but of course, your merchants will see this in your branded, in your branded gateway account. So here's the new tab. It's called Gateway Capital, as you can see, and I've been approved. I've logged into my account, and as a merchant, I'm looking at this as a merchant. I see that I've been approved for $120,000. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on Apply now. And I'm going to be able to select exactly how much of this loan I'm going to take advantage of. So my max amount is 120, but I can just use this really cool little toggle over here and just choose exactly how much I want to take out. So let's say I decide I'm going to take out a 50K loan. Everything is spelled out super clear. There's no hidden stuff here. This program is so squeaky clean. It's incredible. There's no confusion, there's no changes or anything like that. So here we can see the breakdown very, very clearly. The capital amount is 50,000. My capital fee is 5,000. The total amount that this merchant will pay is going to be 55,000. It's that simple. It's that easy. So this is my first offer, as Naval explained, since this is a brand new offer for this merchant. This is the first offer for this merchant. The way the repayments will work is going to be a 9% or a percentage of my sales. But again, subsequent offers will work with fixed fees at fixed amounts of times in terms of repayment. So I get to see that, and then I go ahead and I get started. As you can see, I'm going to have to link my bank account, and I'll be funded in 1 to 2 days. It's absolutely incredible how seamless, easy, quick, and secure this all feels. I'm going to show you a different account just so you can see what it looks like once a merchant has actually taken advantage of an offer. So here's a different account that I'm logging into. I've already taken out this offer at 112,500, and I haven't started paying it back. But this is where I can manage that loan that I'm already in middle of. I think it's very, very clear that this was built in a way that feels super safe, secure, familiar, and understandable to your merchants. Like it's the opposite of confusing the way these offers are presented. And I think a lot of merchants will feel like that this is something that they can, with confidence, take advantage of. I know that probably what a lot of you have been thinking. I've been speaking to some of you over the past couple of weeks, and I know that a lot of you are thinking, Well, I've had a lot of different experiences with different MCA programs or different, loan programs, and a lot of your experiences have been less than ideal. Let's just put it that way. So I want to spend just a minute focusing on how this is different than a lot of the other programs you and your merchants have been exposed to. So first of all, the ease of application. Neville has spoken about it. I've spoken about it. You've seen it live. It's super easy. We already have almost all of the information that we need for the merchant to complete the application. That's why there's pre-approved loans. And for the most part, merchants will be approved right away, funded 1 to 2 business days. There's no lengthy application process, no lengthy underwriting. We already have what we need. All your merchant needs to do is click apply and complete the application. That's number one. Number two, we presented it as a native feature within your gateway, like we do with all of our features. So this is not a separate product outside of the gateway that confuses your merchants, makes them feel like they're, creating a brand new partnership or anything of that sort. It's completely native. It's in the same gateway that they use every day in, day out to take their payments. And that gives a level of security, of confidence to merchants, which is so important when it comes to these type of programs. Number three, Neville mentioned this, I think, very briefly. There's no credit impact. There's no the merchants will not have an impact to their credit score because we're not checking that in order to approve them for these loans. We're using their transaction history, data that we already have to create those pre-approvals. So no credit impact. Number four, the rates. It's a completely different world compared to the rates that merchants have been exposed to with MCA programs. The rates in those other programs, let's call them, can be 30, 40, 50%. Very, very predatory. Neville mentioned 3 to 20%. I mean, it's far less than half of what they're going to get, outside of bank loans. So the attractiveness, just as far as numbers goes, is really, really amazing. And lastly, the transparency, the cleanliness of it. A lot of those programs, you got to really sift through everything with a fine tooth comb to really find, the hidden details and stuff like that. And even when you do, sometimes it's brand new ones that just crop up on you. I've been dealing with Neville for quite a few months already by now. The Paraffin is literally the cleanest, most clear, transparent type of capital program on the market. Okay, those are the benefits to the merchants. We spoke about benefits to the ISO. Neville, I'm just doing a quick check-in to see if you have anything to add, if I left anything out. Otherwise, we can move forward.
Nope, I think you've covered the big points.
Okay, fantastic. So everybody on this call is super excited for this program. They can only imagine that every merchant is going to want to take advantage of it. But something that I want to spend just 2 minutes on is the importance of you communicating with your merchants about this program. So one of the ways in that we're different than some of the other programs that you've had is that there's no direct marketing from Paraffin to merchants. So with some of the other programs, there's a lot of aggressive sales and marketing being directed to merchants. They get their email addresses and they literally hound them until they do something or block them. None of that is going to happen with Gateway Capital. The only visibility your merchants will have to this program is going to be the widget, the embedded feature that I've showed you in the Gateway account, but there's not going to be any communication from Paraffin to your merchants unless, of course, your merchants actually take out a loan. Then there's going to need to be ongoing communication between Paraffin and your merchants. Because of that, so that's great because that means it's a professional program. It's not an aggressive program, but at the same time, it also means that it is critical for the ISO for the reseller to communicate that this program is available, the benefits of the program, the details of the program to their merchants. Because if you don't tell them about it, there's a good chance they won't know about it. And if they don't know about it, they can't take advantage of it. And then we all lose out on something which is so incredibly impactful. A lot of as ISOs, that the decision maker on the merchant side is often not the one that even logs in to their gateway account, at least on a regular basis. It's usually the office staff that's taking payments. But the one that's going to make that decision as to take out the loan or not could be they're never even logging into the gateway account and you won't even see the feature. So one more time, important, really important for the reseller to be in communication with their merchants, to teach them about it, educate them about it, let them know that it exists, that they can log in and see that there's an offer waiting for them. If you do that, I think it'll take this program and really you know, give it a much higher chance of success for you and your merchants. All right. I think we've covered what we wanted to. I'm going to open the floor for some questions and answers. Things that are directed to me, I'll answer. Things that are directed to Neville, I'll send to him. I will say that if you need to hop off, you can always email us with any questions. You can email me, you can email your support rep at Accept Blue or just support at Accept.blue. And we'll make sure to give you all the answers that you need. All right. Let's go ahead and open up that Q&A box. Okay. What are the payment terms? Do ISOs earn a rev share for interest? We've covered both of them. The payment terms depend on the type of loans. So the initial loan offer will be the payment terms will be a percentage of their daily processing. And as the subsequent offers are presented to your merchants, it's going to be a fixed fee that's taken out on a fixed schedule. Do ISOs earn a rev share for interest? Yes, absolutely. Like we said, depending on the total loan amount you have out for your merchants, there's the potential here for ISOs to earn up to full percent on total loan amount, which is absolutely amazing. How much processing history do they need? Almost every merchant will automatically have some offer available to them right away, but the more processing history they have, the better the offers they will be. I think Neville, you said 3 months. At the 3 month mark is when when the new type of offers will be presented. Was that the time frame?
Yes. So to answer that question, at launch, it'll need to be around 6 months of transaction history. And then once we are 3 months post-launch and we launch our starter offer product, then it will only be a single transaction on platform for a merchant to be able to apply for a loan.
Understood. Okay. There's a question here. Will merchants be presented with multiple different loan options or just one option? One loan at a time. So one loan, they take advantage of the loan. When they complete that loan, they can always take out another loan. And the data that Paraffin has is that merchants will come back for another loan. So this is not just a one-time thing for your merchants. For the most part, merchants will take advantage of that, come back the next year, come back the next year, and keep on coming back for for those loans with which they're able to, like we said, finance specific projects or inventory or repairs or stuff like that. This is fully white label. It's a question about white labeling. There's nothing except blue on this. This is presented as just another feature of this amazing white labeled gateway that your merchants interact with every day. Let's see. Do the rates fluctuate based on the amount of the loan? Neville, I'm going to let you answer that. I think the answer is no, but you can confirm that.
That's correct. It's not the amount of the loan, it's the terms that the merchant selects. So if they're choosing 6 months versus 9 months, and then also their risk factor is based on their sales or transaction history.
Okay. Max loan amount. I don't know if there's actual caps on that, Neville, but what's the highest that a merchant can take out if there's a specific cap?
So the way that we manage this is we start with a fairly conservative cap at 150,000 at launch, and then we scale that up as we get a read on risk for the overall program, and it should scale to about 750,000 max.
Got it. Okay, there's a question of what happens, a few questions of what happens if merchants don't pay back. So first thing I need to clarify, there's no risk to the ISA. You guys are off the hook. Nobody's coming after you. The loan is between the merchant and Paraffin, and if they don't pay back, that's for Paraffin to deal with. Neville, if you want to add anything on that.
Nope, that's correct.
Okay. Fantastic. In terms of which users will see the offers, master users, any master user will see the offer visible in their gateway account. Non-master users will not see gateway capital. Um, can Neville explain how Paraffin is going to take a percentage of sale? How are you going to access that, Neville?
So we validate a bank account that the merchant uses to transact with the resellers, and we will automatically deduct from that account.
Got it. So you have access to their account, right? Because the merchant links their account, which you have access to.
That's correct.
Great. Another couple of questions. So, somebody asked, well, how will the ISO get paid? That's going to be from Accept Blue to the reseller. You'll see it on your monthly invoice. You'll see it in your ISO portal, but that's going to be directly from us, from Accept Blue. That is not from Paraffin. I do see a couple of questions here about particular merchants or particular situations where gateway capital is not able to be offered based on the specifics of the merchant. There is the ability for the ISO to turn this off on a merchant by merchant basis. Reach out to support, we'll instruct you how to do that, but we are not forcing this on everybody. We do think for the most part, merchants will be very excited to see this, but if there's a particular situation or reason why this can't be offered to your merchant, reach out to support and we'll show you how to close it. Let's see. When is launch? That's a really good question. So this is going to be a phased launch. Um, some merchants starting from tomorrow morning and throughout till early next week, this is going to be rolled out in phases, but some merchants will already start seeing offers tomorrow morning. And by early next week, all merchants will have Gateway Capital enabled in their account. Somebody wants to know if we can, if merchants can or ISOs can send in processing statements to help qualify for loans. No, the only thing we use here is the processing history running through the Accept Blue gateway. That's the only criteria that we use that Paraffin uses to create those offers. So there's no outside history or anything of that sort that could be used to optimize those offers. Um, okay, I see a couple of questions that we already answered. Okay, I think we covered probably about 80% between them. Um, but I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. But there's a lot of questions. Okay. Um, I'm going to post this recording so you guys have access to it. I know there's a lot of questions. I think we got to a lot of them, but there's definitely some we didn't cover. I encourage you to reach out to support, to meet your support rep, anybody in Accept Blue, and we'll do our best to get your answers as soon as possible. In the meantime, again, I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy days to join this. I'm very excited about this. I think you all are at this point. This is going to be a really a changing product for you and your merchants. This is not just one new little thing. This is an entirely new product, opens up entirely new revenue streams, and again, it's going to again completely change that relationship that you have with your merchants. Neville, thank you very much for your participation. A lot of helpful information that you provided, and I'm really excited to see to see where this goes together.
Thanks, Ben. Super excited to get this up and running.
All right, guys.